if you had told me 6 years ago that I would be sitting in my college dorm room in full drag, getting ready to record a video about a drag competition I was in, I would have laughed at your face. Yet here I am, and here we are. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Replika Queen, and I am a 23-year-old entertainer here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And today we are starting a brand new series on my channel. Today we are going to be starting the Replicas review series for the competition that I was lucky enough to get to compete in, Drag Survivor. So for those of you who don't know, Drag Survivor was a 6-week drag competition in Knoxville, Tennessee, where we were put onto teams and basically competed like it was the TV show Survivor. And every week we had to film confessionals and get into drag early, and it was amazing. And we voted people out live on stage in front of an entire audience. It was so much fun. And what happened was the show director and the show owner, Miss Morphine Drip, who created and now owns the licensing to Drag Survivor, actually wound up editing everything into actual episodes of Drag Survivor that are now available to watch on YouTube. So the first episode will be linked below, and episode 2 comes out on Wednesday, September 29th at, I don't know, it'll probably be out around noon, so it should be out by then. So I will have the Drag Survivor YouTube channel and the link to episode 1 all there. But I'm going to quickly recap and review this first episode for you guys, so that way you can get my little comedy take and get some behind the scenes tea from me about what really went down, okay? So if you are excited to see the first episode of Replika's review, please be sure to click the little like button. Lets me know that you guys want to keep seeing this incredible series. And if you really want to let me know your opinions so that I can cover them in next week's episode, please comment below what you thought about the first episode, what team you're on, and who you want to see take home the crown, because this competition is insane. Also, every entertainer that is mentioned in this competition will be linked below with their Instagram and possibly Facebook. It depends on if they're cool with the Facebook, but definitely their Instagram will be linked below, and also their CashApp and Venmo if you guys decide that you want to send them a little tip. So be sure to check that out and give all of these entertainers a follow. They are amazing. They deserve all of the love that is getting ready to come from this competition, and I am just excited to review it with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first episode of Replika's review, Drag Survivor. So if we start off the episode by introducing all 11 contestants that will be competing for the title of Mr. or Miss Drag Survivor. First off, we need to mention that this takes place in Knoxville, Tennessee at the bar called The Edge, which unfortunately is no longer with us, but is a main part of this entire story. It makes sense that it takes place in Knoxville. So first up, we meet our contestants right out of the gate. There are 11 of us, and up first we have Lana Cabana, who is 22 years old from Johnson City, Tennessee. She is the current reigning Queen of Mardi Gras and has coined the tropical taste of Johnson City, Tennessee. She is amazing, she is cool, she's refreshing, and she is here to prove to these Knoxville girls that Johnson City queens can do it just as good. Up next, we have the beautiful Madison S Garden from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She is 29 years old, and she is here to rep for all of the trans women who do drag. She is also 2 hours from the event coming from Chattanooga, and she is just here to show Knoxville what she can do. She's performed in Chattanooga for a while, and she's ready to bring it to Knoxville. Next, we meet Juuls, who is a spicy Latina drag queen. Her words, not mine. She is 24, question mark? Literally question mark in the video, from Knoxville, Tennessee, and her profession is a professional Fortnite player and a part-time MILF. I agree with the first part. She's definitely a professional Fortnite player. Do not 1v1 her. She will kick your ass. Juuls also says that she is most excited about just getting to do the challenges, and she's hopefully going to win. She says that she doesn't want to go home first, so we'll see what happens. Our fourth contestant that we meet is this random queen from Knoxville. She's 23. She is Replika Queen. She's me. When we get me, I get to be introduced fourth. And I am 23 years old from Knoxville, Tennessee, like I say in my intro. And I am the current reigning Miss Southern American newcomer in Chattanooga, but I reside in Knoxville. And I, of course, right off the bat, if anyone knows me, they know that my big thing is I'm immediately shady for no reason. Like, I think it's because I adapted a mouth to kind of get me through, like, people reading me. Like, I had to adapt a quick tongue. So I immediately, right off the bat, make a shady comment about how I am better, question mark, than the rest of the girls, and that I'm here to prove that I'm better than them. And then, of course, I immediately throw shade at Lana Cabana, saying that she is my biggest competition because she has her partner, Nebula Majors, who is another queen from Sevierville and then from Knoxville, helping her every step of the way. And Nebula has pageant experience and long-time drag experience, so Nebula's more of a threat to me than Lana was, and the fact that Nebula was going to help Lana basically meant that Lana was my biggest threat at the time. Now, Lana turns around and says that I'm her biggest threat and does nothing but compliment me the whole time, making me feel like an asshole, because she's sitting there saying all these nice things, and then here I am being like, you're only gonna win because you got a boyfriend who can pay for you. Very Shangela sugar daddy, like, she's Shangela and I'm Mimi, I'm first. So, there was that. Up next, we meet the beautiful my sister, Miss Flannel Westcoast, who is 26 from Knoxville, Tennessee. And she is an office manager at a tattoo shop. She recently came out of retirement, and this is her first big competition since coming out of retirement. And she's just here to prove that the campy queens can do it just as good as the polished pageant and dancing queens can. Flannel is campy, kooky, funny, and all around stupid, but in the best possible way. And she is here to camp her way to the crown, and not the Camp Wanakiki crown, the Drag Survivor crown. Up next, we meet drag king Dixon Normous, who is 28 from Knoxville and is a used car salesman. Dixon likes to play around with gender norms, but mostly resides at the drag kingdom, and is here to prove that kings can do it too, and kings can do it just as good as the queens can. He's also out there representing for our trans male community, and it is amazing to see Dixon do what he does. He is hysterical, and all of his concepts are so creative, so he was an amazing addition to this cast. Next, we have my girl, probably one of my favorite entertainers ever, Miss Eva LaDiva, who is 22 years old from Knoxville, Tennessee, and she describes her employment as she doesn't really have one because all of her sugar daddies pay for everything for her. She is a dancing diva from Knoxville who does the splits, the high kicks, the death drops, the somersaults, the front flips, the back flips, the handsprings, the literally breaking your pussy on stage. She does it all, and she is amazing, and she is here to just have a good time and hopefully go home first. She is a character. She's one of my favorite people, and I'm very excited that I got to compete alongside her. Next, we have Mr. Hagen Pierce, who is another drag king. He is 28 years old, He is 28 years old, and he is also representing the trans male community, out here proving that kings can be edgy and alternative and dark and spooky and emo, and really just out here representing and trying to show that the kings deserve as much representation as the queens get. So Hagen is amazing. He was one of the first entertainers I ever met when I first started performing. Hagen is still doing it, and I love Hagen to death, and despite what I say in this episode. Despite what I say in this episode, I love Hagen to death. Next, we have Miss Shariyah Diamond, and she is 33 from Knoxville, Tennessee, and she is a recording artist whose music is actually now available to stream on all streaming platforms. Shariyah is here and is excited to get this competition going. She feels like she deserves this crown. She's put in the time and the energy over the past decade of her life performing in drag and realizing and transitioning into the woman that she is today. And she's here to let these bitches know that she is the tea and she's the one that they need to beat. Next, we have Nick Flair, who is another drag king. He is our last drag king in the competition. He is 37 years old, and he is in fashion retail. He is actually the manager at a fashion retail place, and he is here performing for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, where he is very nervous but excited to express his creativity and showcase his talents. Nick is immediately called out as being Juuls' biggest threat, and Nick is definitely a threat. Juuls feels like he is definitely more of a competitor and definitely way too creative, that he is probably one of the biggest threats in the competition. So Juuls has her eye out on him, and we all did, let's be honest. He was one of the best. And last but certainly not least, we have our one and only AFAB entertainer, our one and only cis woman contestant, Miss Biggie Taters, who is 22 from Knoxville, Tennessee, and she is the customer service hostess with the mostest. She gets her name from her big taters, and she is here to prove that the girls can do it just as well as everybody else. Biggie is loud, energetic, and in your face, and is, again, just like Flannel, stupid in the best way possible. Biggie is amazing, and I love her to death. So, with that, those are our 11 contestants for the first season of Drag Survivor Knoxville. Now, after we meet our contestants, we are immediately thrown into the tribe selection process. The two current reigning title holding queens, myself, Miss Replika Queen, and Lana Cabana, were given the task of being team captains, and we had to dodgeball style pick who our teams would be, going back and forth where I would pick somebody, then Juuls would pick somebody, then the person I picked somebody else, and it kept going until there was only one odd person out. So, who were those teams, you might ask? Well, I picked Flannel, Lana picked Biggie, Flannel picked Juuls, Biggie picked Eva, Juuls picked Nick Flair, Eva picked Shariyah. I'm sorry, I can't remember this. Eva picked Shariyah, Nick Flair picked Hagen Pierce, and Shariyah picked Dixon Normous, meaning that Madison S Garden was unfortunately left out of the bunch and was sent to Exile Island, where she was not on a team. However, this did come with a small advantage for her. She gained immunity for week 1 and could not be voted out, meaning that she lasted at least 2 weeks in the competition, and she would join the tribe that had to send somebody home in the first tribal council. Now with this, we were all given our first challenge, which was, you have to come up with a way to showcase yourself as a unique entertainer and present it to the judges. You have to showcase yourself. Who are you as an entertainer? And that was our challenge. Immediately after we got done, we started doing we were put into team chats of just our tribes, and, I really gravitated towards Flannel and towards Juuls. They were really the two that I wanted to work with the most. So Juuls and Flannel and I formed a 3-woman alliance to take out Hagen and Nick and make it all the way to the end, hoping to pull in an extra number if we had to. So we didn't really have a main target at first, but tensions definitely began to rise on our tribe because, first off, Flannel found the hidden immunity idol after registration. Apparently in the gift bags that we were given, one of them held a clue to a hidden immunity idol. and Flannel was lucky enough to find that first clue to the hidden immunity idol. She managed to solve it that same night, messaged Morphine Drip the next day, and was able to receive her hidden immunity idol, meaning that she immediately began the game before week 1 had even started with an immunity idol. Now, she says that this changed her entire strategy, and Flannel planted a fake hidden immunity idol for someone else to find. Now, I cannot wait to see how this turns out. It was such a shock watching this, because Flannel is sneaky. Flannel is here to play Survivor and not play, like, best friend race. She is here to play Survivor. So, she is coming to play, and honestly, she's doing a great job. But like I said, tensions kind of began to rise, because Hagen Pierce believes that Juuls and Flannel are targeting him along with Replika to get him out. Now, he thinks that it's because Replika wanted him out first. But the reality is, Hagen Pierce created a group chat with Flannel and Juuls and specifically said that he wanted to get rid of me. So what happened? My closest alliance member, Flannel, sent me the screenshots of the chat and showed me and said, this is what's being said. I figured you would want to know. And from there on, we targeted Hagen to get him out first if we had to go into tribal council first. So there was already tension between me and Hagen. And of course, I exposed that Hagen sent that group chat, and I immediately said that he was probably the weakest link on the team because we needed to keep the strong players around and not the weak ones. So I immediately threw Hagen under the bus. PSA, new drinking game, take a shot every time I say something shady. Juuls says that she doesn't know who she's gonna target between Replika and Hagen, but those are the two potentials. She says that she definitely can see sending Hagen home first because he is kind of the weaker one. However, Replika is such a strong competition that she doesn't really know which way she's gonna lean, but she's definitely ready to choose one of the two. Now, our tribe wasn't the only one who was going through some hard times. The Awaggz tribe, which is the yellow tribe. Oh, I forgot to, oops. So the purple tribe, which was my team, which consists of me, Flannel, Juuls, Nick, Flair, and Hagen Pierce, is the Lakiki tribe wearing purple. And the other team consisting of Lana, Biggie, Eva, Shariyah, and Dixon are wearing yellow, and they are the Awaggz tribe. So, Awaggz was not without their different kinds of struggles as well. Apparently, according to the confessionals, Shariyah was targeting Biggie Taters to get her out first, saying that Biggie was too big of a threat and needed to go home. Biggie then retaliated by making a 3-person alliance with Lana and Eva, meaning that Dixon was just kind of left out to dry on his own. And then Shariyah turns around and says that Dixon is probably the weakest because he's not a dancer, saying that he's a good entertainer, but he's not a dancer, and the rest of them can dance and entertain a crowd. Shariyah also decides to point out that her actual biggest competition is Eva LaDiva, and says that if they are in the bottom, she will play strategically and try to target her strongest opponent. Now, after all these confessionals are aired, it is time for the first challenge of Drag Survivor Knoxville, which is showcase yourself as a unique entertainer to the judges and the audience. We were tasked to write short little bios about ourselves and our drag and our performance style, and then we had to submit that to the judges, and they were read out loud over the microphones, and then our performance had to match our bios. The Lakiki tribe was up first in the challenge, which means that all of my team went first in this order. It went Flannel, then Nick, then Hagen, then Juuls, then me. Now, let's talk a little bit about each performance. Flannel decided to showcase her nerdy side, saying that she is a Pokemon master, so she gave the judges and the audience her rendition of the Poke Rap from the first generation of Pokemon games. Now, this might seem a little far-fetched, but she didn't flail around. Pokemon puns. You're welcome. Nick Flair decided to tell us how his COVID-19 lockdown went and how he took a job delivering pizzas to an old folks home and how it ended up in a geriatric gangbang. The candies in the old folks home weren't the only thing that were hard, and let's just say Nick didn't blow this performance. Hagen Pierce decided to rock out with his goth out and showcase his emo aesthetic and prove that boys can have just as much fun as girls can, because boys what? Just want to have fun. Juuls took us on a Roman holiday and gave us a rap sheet of her talents and individuality. These puns I wrote are so stupid. This is what I get for writing puns at midnight. Good Lord. And then Replika Queen, me, gave a reading lesson to the crowd with the help of Phaedra Parks, Shangela, and Tiffany New York Pollard. She wrapped it up by becoming one of the mean girls and putting Morphine Drip, the host of the competition, into her burn book. Now, it was so much fun. Our team had such a good chemistry. We had so much fun on stage, but they, of course, were not without their snafus. Juuls came off the stage feeling a little uncomfortable and feeling like she was probably going to go home first, saying that it was one of her worst performances. Meanwhile, I walked out of there on cloud 9 like I just ate that. Y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing. I am secure until next week for sure. No doubt in my mind, I just ate that and I won it for all of us. Up next, the Wakai tribe got their turn to showcase their individuality, beginning with our lovely Biggie Taters. Now, Biggie Taters give us a big and juicy performance that showcases how she got her name. Now, there were a few mishaps with Biggie's performance, and let's just say that the judges and the audience weren't the only ones who had their wigs snatched by the end of the number. Love you, Biggie. Shariyah Diamond was up next and had the entire crowd loving her single, Don't Like It, which is now available on all streaming platforms. She is amazing on the microphone. She gave us a live rapping performance. She danced, she rapped, she sang, and she is an entertainer, darling. She did the damn thing. Dixon Normous was up third and gave us all a vocabulary lesson on the F word. And let's just say this, it was fan-freaking-tastic. Honestly, one of the best fudging performances I have ever seen, and I cannot freaking wait for all of you to see it. Eva LaDiva was up fourth, and she decided to sissy that walker all the way down to the Golden Girl Corral. She gave us an elderly performance and was incredible. Between her choice of using the chocolate monologue from SpongeBob to her use of a life alert, she was the star. And honestly, I give her definitely 10 stars. Definitely the standout performance of the night, aside from me. Love you, Eva, but, you know, can't beat me. And last but not least, on the Wakai tribe was Lana Cabana, giving us a tropical taste of some summertime sadness. And she ended with a bang, bang, bang on the door, baby, and let us all know that our tin roofs are rusted. And took us on a trip to the Love Shack, making sure that we all knew that summer was here. And we're spending it playing Survivor. Now, Lana's was amazing, as usual. Her mix was created by the incredible Stevie Spears. And honestly, Lana's a star. Lana's an icon. Like, I love her. So watching her perform was amazing. Madison S Garden still got to perform in week 1. She competed and used her monster mix, painted herself like a skeleton, came out in a skeleton bodysuit, and performed her monster mix for individual points. However, because she had immunity and she didn't get her points added to any of the team's totals, we didn't really go into too much detail about her performance in this review. She's still amazing. She is still an icon. I love her to death, and I'm excited to see which team she's on. Now, in the end, both tribes, the Waikiki tribe and the Wakai tribe, tied at 1,600 to 1,600 points, meaning that the audience vote for the MVP of the week broke the tie. Now, the audience voted, and the MVP of the week was not revealed to us because it's not revealed, but we were told that the winning tribe of the week was the Wakai tribe, meaning that Lana, Eva, Biggie, Dixon, and Shariyah were all safe from elimination during week 1, which meant that my tribe, the Waikiki tribe, was forced to send somebody home. So we were all tasked with getting our whiteboards and writing down the name of who we wanted to send home on these whiteboards. Now, I casted my vote for Hagen because at the time I was mad that he wanted me out first for seeing me as too big of a threat, and I just wasn't as impressed with his performance. So we got to walk up and show our votes, and my vote was cast for Hagen Pierce. Now Flannel, Juuls, and Nick's votes were all hidden. However, we did find out in the video that Hagen did vote for me. So that means that there was one vote for me and one vote for Hagen. And it was up to the rest of the team to decide who was getting ready to go home. It would take 2 more votes against either one of us to get us hit home because it was a majority vote. And Morphine Drip read the rest of the votes. And unfortunately, the first person who was eliminated from Drag Survivor was Hagen Pierce, with a vote of 3-1, and the 5th vote was not revealed to anybody. Now, Hagen did get an elimination interview, and in the elimination interview, he did mention something about me, Replika, paying my team members to keep me safe and to vote Hagen out. He also says that it's just a game and that there's no hard feelings and everything was just strategy, but he was bummed out and was very curious to know if I actually did pay people to keep me in this competition. With that, that means Madison S Garden joins the Purple Lakiki tribe, and now we have an even playing field, folks. 10 contestants remain, 5 on Lakiki, 5 on Wakaikai, and next week's challenge is still yet to be determined. It wasn't announced at the end of the first episode, so how is the team dynamic going to change now that Madison S Garden has joined the Lakiki tribe? Will Wakaikai be able to solve their differences between Biggie and Shariyah and manage to work it out? And who's going to go home next? Who's going to win week 2? Who's going off to Tribal Council? And who will be the next person eliminated? Thank you guys so much for watching my Drag Survivor Replika Reviews episode. I am so excited to be doing this full series with you guys. Now, a little bit of information, which I'm sure you saw earlier. The look I'm wearing today is actually my promo look for the season. We had to dress up in our best Survivor wear. So I chose this lovely little camo romper and this nice little high pony with a braid in it. And I painted green, so I wanted to really give off Survivor Woods camo, kind of like hunting style almost. So this was a copy of my promo look. I hope you guys like it. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, please be sure to click that little like button. I will see you guys next week for week 2 when I will probably have a very special guest and a very special co-host as well. Catch us next week for Replika Reviews episode 2 of Drag Survivor, and be sure to check out the Drag Survivor YouTube channel and first episode. We want all the engagement we can, and I'm just very excited to be a part of this series. I'm excited that I survived week 1 because I'm normally the first person to go home. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.